I have Ms. Sanchez here on behalf of the plaintiff. I have someone here on behalf of the defendant, Judith Monarch.
I'm actually her neighbor. I'm Shauna Schneider. I filed a missing persons report on her last Tuesday. She's got some mental health issues and she came up missing. She came missing. We have not been able to find her for a week. She actually showed up yesterday afternoon. She thought she was in the Bahamas.
She was like cut up from head to toe. Like,
cut up from head to toe.
had bad shape.
She has about 1,000 mosquito bites on her. She was, I know she was roaming around in her underwear when she was last seen a week ago. The ambulance came and they picked her up and she's currently in the hospital right now.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, someone does have their hand up. I don't know if that's the same person. An iPhone.
Good afternoon. If you're here on behalf of cause 26830,
Good afternoon. No, it's another cause. I just joined late.
Okay.
We're just wondering
Okay.
how it's
okay, just making sure. As long as we always want to make sure if we give a chance. All right. Ms. Schneider, Ms. Bias, thank you for that information. That's certainly something I'm going to convey with our constable's office. Ms. Sanchez?
We're we're of course here for non-payment of rent. We just took over the property. I believe it was the beginning of May. It was official, May 1st. Prior to that, she had an outstanding balance in the amount of $3,836 with 42. There was a payment in good faith that they took from the tenant on the 5th of May. We did issue another 3-day notice. So her total amount that she owes right now just in rent is the $3,800 with 58.
Okay. Y'all took the property over, and on May 1st, let's do it this way. She owed rent from before May 1st, is that correct?
Correct.
And so on May 1st, in addition to you said 3836, does that include the rent for May?
May and June, yes.
How much is the monthly rent?
The monthly rent on hers is $1,088.
Is there any subsidy directly to the landlord?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so 1088 is all owed by the defendant. Did the defendant pay 1088 for the month of June?
No, ma'am.
Did she pay anything toward the month of May?
No, ma'am.
Now, did she make any payments in May?
She made on the 3rd 500 money order and a 900 money order.
So altogether, she gave $1,400,
Yes, Your Honor.
but she had a balance outstanding in April,
Yes,
and that was 3836.
correct.
Okay, so that money went toward that, and then she still owed 1088 for May, and then again for June.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is this a CARES Act property?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. What day was notice to vacate given to the defendant?
It was issued on the 5th.
Okay, and then how did y'all deliver that to her?
It was hand delivered to the tenant.
Okay. Yep, pay or vacate, although she had a balance, so it could have just been a vacate. I see that. Okay. You did receive back the return of service. She actually received in-person service directly from Deputy Hobbs. Okay. And I get 326 is the prorated amount for June. So I'll make this, I'm gonna make this an easy way for the court to put it down, and I will let y'all deal with all of the accounting, because there are different
Yes.
maths, right? The court's
Yeah.
math versus the ledger. So what I see is clear and undisputed, right? There may be some argument about what took place, but May has not been paid and June remains unpaid. So with May at the full 1088 and June at the prorated 326, it'll be a judgment for plaintiff, $1,414. So 1414 is the back rent owed. To that, we would add cost of court. For appeal, I'll put the appeal bond at 1088. And then I'll also just say that, Ms. Sanchez, if plaintiff discovers other things or you need to change anything about the order, you can reach out to the court if you'd like to set it aside.
Will
If,
do.
if and when court, plaintiff decides to seek a writ of possession, if that becomes a possibility, we will share our information with the constable's office because it may be that some additional services could be provided at that time or be prepared to maybe offer them. And there might be some things that we would want to share with the defendant, some resources available through the county, even if, housing is no longer.
Yeah.
stability. Okay, just keeping that in mind that we might be able to connect the dots for this person if indeed they need some help right now.
Okay.
Okay, all right. All parties are excused. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. There
I
it
think
is.
that- Definitely let Chief McAngus know. All right, y'all. Next is gonna be cause 26730. That's Matador Apartments versus Richard Benavides. On behalf of the Matador.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Melissa Almanza. I'm the assistant manager for Matador.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Do I have someone on behalf of Richard Benavides? Mr. Benavides, I see you there. You'll need to unmute, sir. You press *6 on your phone.
Yes, can you hear me?
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being with us. All right, Ms. Almanza, why was this case filed?
Yeah, so this is an eviction based on employment termination. His last day of employment was on April 15, and we sent the eviction, the notice to vacate on April 16. It was delivered via email and delivered on the stereo door. And the eviction was filed on April 29.
All right. Had the defendant been an employee with the landlord?
Yes,
Okay, and as a result of his employment coming to an end, he had to vacate the unit?
yes, in 7 days.
All right. Was there any type of written lease between the parties?
Yes.
All right. Under the lease, was there any value assigned as to the monthly rent or what the value of the unit was that he was receiving as a result of his employment?
Yeah, just his concession rent before his termination of employment.
What was the concession that he received?
He was receiving. He was receiving 985.
Okay. Does the lease indicate anything about his employment, or do y'all have a kind of a standard lease?
No, the lease indicate about his termination of employment.
Oh, okay. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Benavides. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Ms. Almanza says this case is a little bit different, or it is different than other cases that I've heard today because it is not really related to any non-payment or to any lease violations. It's a matter that the lease has come to its natural conclusion because you're no longer an employee there. So they said that they've given you a time to vacate and you have not yet left. So is everything Ms. Almanza told me accurate?
Yes, it is. It's just I have nowhere to live. Plus, I have 3 birds that I'm concerned about. So that's why I'm staying here, because if I leave, I'm gonna have to live in my vehicle, and trying to keep 3 little birds with me, it's kind of unbearable for them,
Okay.
But I did pay the rent for May, but it was returned to me. Plus, when I paid the rent, I paid $2,500 because I wasn't sure how much it was.
Okay.
And then a draft of $830 came out on top of that, so it left me broke. So I got with my bank to see if I could get back at least the $830. So I have some kind of money to move out last month, but everything was given back to me. So no payment for May was made at all.
Yeah.
And I stayed for court the last few weeks, and it got dismissed because no one showed up on behalf of the management. So that's why I'm still here trying to figure out what I can do as far as my situation.
I appreciate that, Mr. Benavides.
Yes.
I actually thank you both very much. All right. With that, all of that information, plaintiff would have the superior right to possession. So the judgment today would be for the plaintiff, but I'm going to award just possession. It's not really clear to me about rent being owed. I'll let y'all argue that one out with yourselves, but I could definitely award possession back to the landlord. So it'll be a judgment of possession and your cost of court. So the money it cost y'all to file and bring the case, that will be awarded to you. Now, I will put the monthly rent amount as $985 because that is what you had been earning as a concession. So the court will put down the monthly rent going forward as $985, and I would put that as the exact same amount as the appeal bond. So Mr. Benavides for yourself, and then for Ms. Almanza as the matador, both parties have 5 days beginning tomorrow to appeal. Mr. Benavides, if you take no action on day 6, the landlord could come to me and say, we would like a writ of possession, and then they would get that. They would have to give you a notice. And about 24 hours after that, the landlord would have the right with the constable to remove you and your animals and your pets and your birds at that point. So you have at least 5 more days to look for some alternative housing, or at least figure out what you might do with yourself, assuming you don't appeal or take other steps. But you have at least 5 more days. Okay, sir?
Sure.
All right.
And how does this work? How does this work? Who do I pay this to? Like when I get situated?
Well, the only amount that I find that you owe is your court cost, and typically you would pay that to the to the plaintiff, and you could reach out to them about that.
Okay, so anything I need to pay just goes towards them? I mean, to them?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then Mr. Benavides, we're also gonna send you some appeal paperwork.
Absolutely.
Read over that paperwork. If you have any questions about it, I would reach out to Austin's Tenants Council, and they can further assist you. And then you can also contact the court.
Okay.
All right.
All righty.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Anything from the matador?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you all very much then. Again, judgment for the plaintiff with possession. We set the appeal bond and the monthly rent both equal to $985. All right. All parties are excused. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back here to my docket. Going back out. That was 7:30. Oh, because it got continued. I'm like, why are we so far behind with our numbers? That's why they explained it. All right. Next is going to be 26-832. This is Sunflower Bank versus Mariah Thomas and other occupants at Westgate Boulevard. Do I have someone here on behalf of Sunflower Bank?
Yes, Your Honor. Salim Tarzada.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
And do I have someone on behalf of the defendant, Mariah Thomas?
Yes, that's me. I'm here.
Good afternoon, Ms. Thomas. Thank you for being here. All right, Mr. Herzadeh, please tell me why this case was filed.
Your Honor, this is a post-foreclosure eviction action.
Okay.
The foreclosure took place May 5th, 2026. And the 3-day demand to vacate was sent May 12th, 2026.
Was the defendant the original mortgagee?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You said notice was sent on May 12th?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, so there's no lease here. There's an monthly rent. Is there any information related to what the mortgage payment had been, or what a comparable rent would be for a home of this size, or this, I'm not sure if it's a home or a villa or like a townhome.
It's got an apartment number, so I'm assuming it's a townhome. According to, let me see, I'll pull up the note payment. Just give me 1 minute. So the note payment was $1,038.95. When you look at like Zillow, they estimate the rental amount to be $1,683. So I would think $1,000 a month would be fair.
Yeah, reasonable. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Thomas.
Hi.
The plaintiff here says this case is related to a foreclosure, and so they're not seeking anything for money, they're just seeking possession. He says that the foreclosure was completed and that after they received title, they gave you a notice to vacate on or about May 12th, and they are seeking back possession. So, Ms. Thomas, is that all accurate?
Yes, it is. Honestly, like I'm not fighting it or anything. I've actually been out of that unit since March of last year, since mid-March of last year, because it's also with Habitat for Humanity. It's a weird way. that they've managed to, keep themselves involved, and I couldn't sell the home unless they approved of it,
Oh,
even though I was paying it up until I couldn't.
okay. All right. Well, that's good information then. Ms. Thomas, when's the have you vacated the property?
Yes, I'm no longer there. And
How
I
about your possessions?
actually gave them a call out. Like, I had a realtor trying to sell it and everything. They did a cleanup, a walkthrough, even though there wasn't much to clean up. Like, everything was done. I even given Habitat. They said that they needed like a vacate letter.
Ms. Thomas, when did you vacate the property?
It was like mid-March
Of this year?
of last year.
Of 2025?
Yes.
Mr. Taherzadeh? That seems a big gap in time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm looking at the title. I don't see how Habitat is related. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but the foreclosure did just occur May 5th, 2026. So that is right. And then the demands to vacate were done May 12th. So typically in these situations, our client does a property inspection after the foreclosure. And if there's any sort of property in there, so even if someone may not be currently living there, if there's property, they don't like to make that determination, so they request us to bring it.
Do you know if they did that?
For this client, they I don't know 100%. No, they do it before they send a referral typically. So if the court would like, we could do, if it would be agreeable, we could do a 1 week reset for today's hearing. I can ask my client to go verify if the property is occupied, because there's potentially someone else moved in that we're not aware of. So
Well, it begs a lot of questions. So that seems,
Yeah.
just one moment, Ms. Thomas. Mr. Terza, it seems a court would not have any trouble giving you a bit of time if you want to confirm. There's a question of fact that seems to be here. Who's in possession of the unit if it's not her?
correct. So what we could do is we could do that and then attempt to gather who's actually in the. Now it's possible that they don't respond, they don't answer, and
But
to
if you know
submit
that there's someone
Thomas.
there, that's more about it. Ms. Thomas, you said that you vacated in mid-March. Is that correct?
Yes.
Of last year.
Yes.
Okay. And did you remove all of your possessions from that house?
Yes.
So is it your testimony in court today that you not only moved out, but all of your possessions, essentially it was back to being empty?
Correct. And there are even pictures of it that my realtor did herself.
Do you know if your realtor has let it to someone or allowed other people to move in?
No, she was just showing, but as she was showing and trying to, like, Habitat had to approve the person first, and they kept denying it. They kept denying people, and then they said, "Oh, well, we'll just purchase it back from you," and then they just want to have like up and change her mind, and weeks later was like, "Oh no, we're not gonna."
Ms. Thomas, how did you find out about this lawsuit?
I received an email.
All right. Let's do a short reset. Mr. Taherza, double check, come back with a little bit of information. I'm on the face, you meet your burden. I'm curious about who's there. All right.
Right. And maybe I'm missing in my file, but I don't even see that we have Miss Thomas's email. That's also a little confusing. Maybe I'm missing that.
Service went through the constable and it was alternative. So they did not reach Miss Thomas. They came back and said, no one's answering the door. we approved alternate service. So the constable attached it to the front door and mailed a copy. Ms. Thomas, have you received any mail from the court related to this?
No, it was just an email.
Does she happen to know who emailed her?
Ms. Thomas, do you remember who you got the email from?
I don't. Let me see.
Because we don't have an email address for you from the court. But you had to have gotten it from us, so you know, I mean, service came out. Otherwise, how did you get a hearing? How did you get the Zoom link?
Yeah.
That we mail.
It just says efilingmail.tylertech.cloud.
That's
Oh,
the
Your
notice.
Honor, I misspoke. When we served the notice of hearing, we did find an email, so we served the notice of hearing via email. I apologize.
Okay. I see that. In your certificate of service, Mr. Tehesta, you give an address at Westgate, and then you gave an address, and I won't read your email out, Ms. Thomas. Though I do like your email address. That's kind of fun.
Thank you.
And appropriate. I get some that are funny but not appropriate. Yours is nice. Yours is totally fine. Right. Kind of a nice time there. All right. Merche, what's our date? Let's give him a week. I just want to absolutely make sure Mr. Terza is on the right path here. Because this is a possession only case, but if she's not in possession, who's there?
Yeah,
Correct, and
nobody has
obviously-
in there.
That's a weirdness, but you know.
Yeah, and the I think part of the HOA people, the PS property that works with Habitat, they were recently doing, this was probably like a month or so ago, like the fire extinguisher check and everything. And the only thing that's there is a lockbox that my realtor had put there. And I gave them the lockbox number so they could walk in and do their check that they needed to do. And nobody's been there.
When's the last time you spoke to your realtor, Ms. Thomas?
It was Felicia. We had an agreement for about 3-4 months, and then I has tried to start looking for a new realtor. So I don't think I actually heard from her since probably last October.
All right. Let's see you guys next week on the 16th. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted, but that's the date I gave to.
That'll be, it's gonna be very quick. We'll put you guys first, and it'll really just be an update, right? What'd you discover? All things the same.
And Your Honor, if my client does verify it's vacant, we'll non-suit prior to that date too.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you don't get to it, you can always call in that morning, be like, non-suited. We'll be fine that way too. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Thomas, we're gonna take a 7-day reset. We're gonna see everyone again Tuesday afternoon. Just as I give to all defendants as a caveat, unless or until you get something saying the case is dismissed, assume this is a pending case and we'll see you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right, all parties are excused for now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
real fast,
Thank
is it
you.
the same time next week as well?
Same time, it's gonna be 2
Okay,
p.m.
thank
It's
you.
even the same Zoom link, but you know, we send it out again, but just in case, you're like, I can't find it. It's the exact same link.
Perfect, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank y'all. All parties
Maybe
are
excuse-
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon. Thank y'all very much.
You too.
Good information. A little bit different there. But that's why we work them through. Okay, let me get back to my docket. Do. Okay. All right, thank y'all. Sorry. Messages popping up here. Okay, so that was 26833. This is GCB doing business as View at Estancia versus Jose Garcia. Do I have someone on behalf of the View at Estancia?
Angelica Sheridan for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Thank you for y'all's patience today. Do I have someone on behalf of the defendant, Jose Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. I'm currently driving.
Okay, well, be very cautious, Mr. Garcia. If you can pull over, we'd much prefer that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Sherman, why has this case been filed?
Yes, Your Honor, this is a eviction based on non-payment of rent. The monthly rent is $1,355, and there has been a failure to pay since March 1st of 2026. Due to the default, a 3-day notice to pay or vacate was delivered to the resident inside the leased premises on May 8th. And to our knowledge, the defendant does still occupy the premises. We are seeking back due rent for March, April, May, and prorated June for a total amount of $4,471.44. In addition to that, we are seeking also possession, court costs, and attorney fees in the amount of $800.
All right. Any subsidy on the 1355?
No, Your Honor.
And was this a CARES property?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Garcia. Thank you for your patience as well. I know you've been with us for well over an hour and a half now. Ms. German's here. She represents the landlord, which is that View at Estancia. She says this case is about non-payment. So my first question, Mr. Garcia, is the monthly rent $13.55?
Sounds about right.
Okay. And then she says March, April, May, and June remain unpaid. Is that accurate?
Could be.
I'm sorry, sir?
It could be.
All right. Well, with that information, Mr. Garcia, the landlord would win their case today. Can I answer any questions for you immediately? Anything you want to tell me?
No, ma'am.
All right. I do appreciate you coming. Let me give you some final numbers then. So it'll be a judgment for plaintiff for March, April, and May. Get the full rent at $13.55, do a prorate for 9 days of June. So total amount to the landlord for back rent will be the $44.71. I would award the $800 in attorney's fees as a reasonable cost. The only additional money that comes extra to that is going to be cost of court. Either party can appeal. For the appeal bond, I'll double the rent. So that'll make it $27.10. Mr. Garcia, if you want to appeal, but you don't have that much money, you may still be able to appeal for free. We automatically send this information, so we're going to send it to you immediately. If you want to appeal, you can do so. If you want to appeal and stay in the apartment, then you have to pay rent of $13.55. We'll give you very specific instructions about when and how to make that payment, though. If you
Yes,
take
ma'am.
no action, you absolutely have at least 5 more days in the apartment beginning tomorrow before the landlord can get a writ of possession. Okay, sir?
Sounds good.
All right, any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much for coming today. If there's nothing else, you're all excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
I
you,
do
Mr.
have-
If that surely matter, you're all excused as well.
I do have 2 additional cases. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Your Honor.
No, I see the next one is also a View at Estancia. All right, so the next one's gonna be 26-834. That is also that long official title, but is doing business as View at Estancia versus Shayna Tiller and others. On behalf of Estancia, I have Ms. Sherman with the Rogers firm. Do I have someone here on behalf of Shayna Tiller? I don't see anyone present. Don't believe we've had anyone check in. Ms. Sherman, if you'll give me information, I'll confirm service to the defendant.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one is also going to be eviction for the non-payment of rent. Monthly rent on this one is $975. There has been a failure to pay since May 1st. Due to the default, a 3-day notice to pay or vacate was hand-delivered to the defendant on May 11th. To our knowledge, the defendant has failed to vacate. We are seeking back due rent for May and prorated June for a total amount of $1,267.50. In addition to that, we are also seeking possession, back due, or I apologize, court costs and attorney fees in the amount of $800.
All right. Any subsidy on the 975?
No, Your Honor.
And not a CARES property. You told me that
That
last
is
time.
correct.
All right, to your knowledge, is the defendant currently deployed to the military?
Not to our knowledge.
Okay. Did receive back the return of service. The defendant was given alternate service and that was returned to the court by Deputy Gamboa. Did receive a military affidavit, resident ledger, attorney activities report, notice to vacate. You gave everything. Y'all are great. All prepared here. Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff, $1,267 in back rent. We would award $800 for attorney's fees plus the cost of court and possession. For appeal bond's going to be equal to rent, so it'll be $975 because we are just May and June. All right, all parties to that matter are excused. And then I think we have one more for the same complex.
That is correct, Your Honor.
26-835 is also the doing business as View at Estancia versus Damari McMillan and others. Do I have anyone here on behalf of Damari McMillan?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. All right, Ms. Sharman is here representing the landlord.
That is correct, Your
Why
Honor.
was this case filed?
This is again an eviction for non-payment of rent. The monthly rent is $1,375. There has been a failure to pay since May 1st of 2026. Due to the default, 3-day notice to pay or vacate was hand delivered to the resident on May 11th, 2026. And to our knowledge, the defendant has failed to vacate. For this one, we are seeking back due rent for May and prorated June for a total amount of $1,787.47. In addition to that, we are seeking possession of the leased premises, court costs, and attorney fees in the amount of $800.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. McMillan.
Hi.
Ms. Sherman's here. She represents the landlord, View at Estancia. She says this case is, as I've heard from many today, a non-payment matter. So is the monthly rent amount correct? Is it $1,375?
Yes, ma'am. That's the base rent before fees and everything.
Okay, that's all they're allowed to ask for in an eviction. So in the eviction, just information, the landlord by law can only ask for the actual rent, so late fees, utilities, cleaning, all the other stuff that's due under the lease but not due per the judgment. So just a little bit different. So $1,375 is the base rent, right? And then is it correct that May and June remain unpaid?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. McMillan, I appreciate that. Well, with that information, the landlord wins the case today, but what questions can I answer for you? If you've listened along, you probably have heard a lot of the information I give, but I am always happy to repeat it. I'm happy to answer any questions. You know, I want to address your concerns.
Yes, ma'am. So I have been here for almost about 2 years now. My payment history is really good. I did lose my job back at the end of March. And I did tell them that I spoke to the landlord and she said if I can have someone like try to take over my lease, but I don't really have anyone to do that. So I just wanted to see if I can get more time so I can find another job and just move out because I know I won't be able to pay all that money by the time,
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have any authority to extend it. So you have options, certainly have the right to appeal. In the next 5 days, contact any of the legal aid providers on our website that we highlight, let them know your situation. They may have ideas. I'll also just share, Ms. McMillan, and this is anecdotally, right? This isn't, but I've definitely had tenants contact us and say that they reached out to like housing assistance or a tenant program before eviction and were told no. But once they had been evicted and they called and said, hey, yesterday was my court date, I've got a judgment against me, I'm up against a 5-day deadline, some of those services were then able to respond or provide them with some assistance because sort of you've already reached that point. So just keep that in mind if you're calling around looking for some options. I'll also just give you a list. So you have at least 5 days, right? If you take no action, if you don't appeal, if you don't do anything, you get at least 5 more days. The landlord can ask on day 6 for a writ of possession. That's the soonest the landlord can seek it. The landlord can wait up to 60 days to seek the writ of possession. So that may be where in conversations with your manager on site, there might be still something they can do for you in terms of how quickly they ask you to leave if you're still looking for work, if things are happening. That's their ability, but legally, you at a minimum, even if they're, and I'm not saying that Ms. Sherman's lovely, I don't know who she works for, right? Landlord could be the worst person in the world. You get at least 5 more days beginning tomorrow. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so they
Yes,
cannot
ma'am.
take that from you, but they can go a little bit longer. I'd say just contact your landlord about that if you want to.
Okay.
All right. So here's the information. Today the judgment will be 1787. That's 1375 for May, and then 9 days of the month for June. So Ms. McMillan, the number that they would give you, like let's say you called your landlord and said, what do I owe? Their number is going to be the full rent for both months, plus late fees, utilities, all the other stuff. Okay. For me, though, the rent from the court is $1,787. I would award the $800 for attorney's fees. We would allow the cost of court, and then either party can appeal. The appeal will be equal to the rent, so it'll also be $1,375. All right, Ms. McMillan, Ms. Sherman, we will send both parties a copy of the order and all that information related to appeal. Okay?
Thank you, Your
Yes,
Honor.
ma'am.
All right, very, very best of luck to you, Ms. McMillan. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you on good set again. All right, all parties to those are excused. Thank you.
Your Honor, for 836, that was plaintiff's dismissal.
Okay, how about 794?
We can hear that one.
Okay.
But let me go back and find it and make sure.
So 26, 836, Urban Oak.
Yes, this one we have everyone.
Rodriguez was a non-suit.
Yes,
And then we
ma'am.
have our final matter will be cause 26974. I'm sorry, 794, 26794. This is Jacob Holman and Nina Holman versus Christina Ann Linden. Do I have someone here on behalf of the plaintiffs, Holman and Holman?
Yes, Nina Holman, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Holman. And do I have someone on behalf of the defendant, Christina Ann Linden? I see you, Christina, Ms. Linden, I see you present in the courtroom. If you'll press *6.
I did unmute.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Linden. I can hear you now.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
fine.
sitting in the middle of the country trying to have access. I truly apologize.
You're fine. And also, when you hit *6, it takes a minute or two for it to unmax, so there's always a delay. Y'all are fine. All right, so I got everybody with us. I can hear everybody. We're good. All right, Ms. Holman, why was this eviction filed?
Your Honor, we have a lease through June 30th with the defendant. She stopped paying rent in May. We served
Okay,
her.
so non-payment.
Yeah.
Under the lease, how much is the rent?
It's 6,400.
Each month?
Correct, due on the 1st.
Okay, what months have been unpaid?
May and June.
May and June. All right. Is your property, does it fall under the Federal CARES Act?
No.
Was May the first time the defendant had been late in the lease?
Yes.
Did you provide her with the pay or vacate notice?
We served her notice in person on May 7th.
All right, and did she pay up the rent?
She did not.
All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Linden.
Hi, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. One last question, Ms. Holman. Is there any subsidy paid by the government on the rent directly to you?
There isn't, Your Honor, but I also wanted to make a statement regarding the continuance hearing that we had from last week. The defendant stated that she had a contempt hearing scheduled for the 8th of June. She thought she was going to get funds to pay us. She said she had moved out and she was trying to, avoid an eviction on her record. On June 3rd, I confirmed with the 459th District Court Coordinator, Erica, that there was no hearing scheduled. The motion filed on May 12th did not move forward. I also have Exhibit F showing the court's docket also confirming.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Linden.
Hi, Your Honor. I'll be brief, but the continuance was supposed to be based on July 8th. I was very flustered and I didn't look. The original hearing, they pushed it to July 16th now. So I can't even get into court to have the temporary orders. My husband owes $15,000 a month. He stopped paying the temporary orders of spousal support starting last August, and I've managed to get the money together every month. And my lease only goes to May 31st. It does not go to June 30th. So I am more than happy to pay all of May. I was out, the house was vacated. It's in impeccable condition on June 5th. And also I have no ability, I'm using a friend's phone now. My husband also didn't pay the children or I cell phone bills. It's been a complete nightmare. I was in the hospital in the first hearing because of blood pressure. My son was in the hospital all last night. I sent an email to the court to prove everything that I'm saying. I am still trying. I am going to be able to get a personal loan from a friend, and it would fund by Friday, and I would cover them absolutely first to everything that I'm late, because I've never been late before. It was never my intention, but I'm
All right.
stuck in this loop.
Okay, I appreciate that. Ms. Linden, you said you vacated on June 5th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Court will award $6,400 for the month of June. I'll calculate rent through June 5th, so it's total award for back rent to the plaintiff $7,466 plus your cost of court. Either party can appeal. I'll make the appeal bond equal to the monthly rent, so the appeal bond will be $6,400.
And there's no way I can pay that. So do I try to go that indigent route that you were discussing with previous defendants?
Yes, Ms. Linden, if you wish to appeal, you may be able to apply for the affidavit of inability. Certainly may
Okay.
qualify. If you are not trying to regain possession, if you've already moved out, then you don't
Yes.
have to
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about paying
Yes,
rent.
ma'am.
It's just a matter of appealing. Okay.
Okay. I appreciate it. And Ms. Holman, I'm so sorry. I never intended for this to happen. I truly apologize.
All parties are excused. Thank you very much. We'll send
Thank you, Your
everything back
Honor.
to the order.
Thank you.
How about 821 Dexter versus Staten?
Yeah, so this is for non-payment of rent. Rent is $9.99. Notice of
No, hold on,
vacant.
Ms. Lezza, hold on. So you're here
Please.
for Dexter at Austin. Do I have anyone here on behalf of the defendant, Leighton Wilson?
You mean Anthony Staten?
I'm sorry?
You mean Anthony Staten? We dismissed Leighton Wilson.
That was 820. Okay, so 821, Anthony Staten.
Yes, Anthony Staten is here. He's
Good
present.
afternoon, Mr. Staten. Thank you for being here. All right, Ms. Lezza, why was this eviction filed?
Yes, Your Honor, so this is non-payment of rent. The rent is at $9.99. We delivered inside the door for May 7th. The eviction was filed on the 18th of May. The prorated up to today, the 9th, is at $12.99.
Is there any subsidy on the rent?
No, Your Honor.
What months are unpaid?
So it's gonna be May and then up to today, the 9th.
All right. Was May the first time he'd been late on the rent?
Correct.
Was it a notice to pay or vacate?
It's a correct notice to pay or vacate.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being here. Ms. Lezza is with Complex Dexter. She says this case is one related to non-payment matters. So my first question, sir, is the monthly rent amount correct? Is it $999 each month?
I believe so. I've never received a copy of the lease. I believe that's what I signed,
Okay.
but I don't have any physical paper to look over for myself.
How much have you been paying for the rent every month, sir?
It would have been the first month's rent. That would have been the first month that I paid. But a
Okay.
scenario took place from my old apartment where they for some reason it was still set on auto pay. They removed the money out of the account. I went into the office to explain that to them, and then they had some process of changing the lock on the door. And so without really knowing what was going on, I'm in this situation.
All right. So May and June remain unpaid, Mr. Staten?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Lezza, for June, let's see if it's $9.99. I'm getting through today. I got $2.99 for that plus $9.99 from the month before.
That's right.
I get $12.98. All right, judgment for the plaintiff, $1,298. Mr. Staten, you have 5 days to appeal. To appeal the case, it would require an appeal bond. It would be equal to 1 month of rent, $9.99. If you wish to appeal, and this is true for you and for all defendants, if you wish to appeal, but maybe you could not afford the appeal bond, you may still qualify to appeal with an affidavit of inability, which means you might be able to appeal for free. However, an important part is that if you wanted to stay living in the apartment while the case is being appealed to a different court, you would have to pay the full rent of $9.99 to the court. Otherwise, the landlord can still get a writ of possession and make you leave, though your case is still pending. Okay, sir?
There's no one there. There's been no one present at the apartment since the lockout, because there's no way for me to enter or exit out the apartment safely. So that was my whole thing about paying it, was that the locks were already changed on the door. So there's no way for me to actually have access to the apartment if I was to pay it.
Please contact legal aid about the situation you've encountered, sir. I can't give you any legal advice about what you can or cannot do. Do you have any questions about the
Okay.
information I gave you today with the order? Because under this order, you have at least 5 days to appeal. If you don't take any action on day 6, the landlord can get a writ of possession and remove you.
Let's just let me clarify for one thing. So as of right now, the amount is $12.99.
As of right now, the court judgment is $12.98. The amount of money you have outstanding is probably more than that, because the landlord wants you to pay the entire rent for May and June, which is going to be over $1,800.
Okay, because I have another document stating it's for $2,500.
Mr. Staten, that is something different. The court can only award actual rent through the date of the judgment. That's why I'm only allowing 9 days of the month of June, but your lease said it was probably due the 1st of the month. Please call a lawyer about the difference in what the court's judgment is and what the landlord may send you a bill for. Those numbers do not have to be the same thing.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, sir?
No, you said I can actually access that information for legal help on precinct3.com. or
Absolutely, Mr. Staten, if you
your
come to
website.
our website, on the left-hand side, there's an area called helpful links, and on that, there's a whole section about eviction and housing, and there's at least 8 places that you can go and get free assistance from. Okay, sir?
Okay, thank you.
All right, very best of luck to you, sir. Thank you. All parties to that matter are excused. Also, I did look at the lease. It was $9.99, y'all. I did check that. Okay. Next will be 26,822.
Your Honor, that's a dismissal.
Oh, non-suit. Okay. 26,824. That is Resolute Riviera Lofts versus Rosa Arredondo and other occupants. Do I have someone here on behalf of Resolute Riviera?
Richard Cahan for the plaintiff.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cahan.
Good afternoon.
Do I have someone here on behalf of Rosa Arredondo?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here.
Good afternoon, Ms. Arredondo. Thank you for being here. All right, Mr. Cahan, why was this case filed?
So, well, I'm hope we can bypass that and keep the trend of non-judgments going as the predominant. But the tenant was supposed to pay a portion by 1 o'clock today. I didn't get that update. I don't know if that was made, but I'd like to offer, if she's agreeable to pay as we agreed by the Friday, everything that's due, we would like to ask for a continuance then.
Ms. Arredondo, are you interested in trying to resolve things with the plaintiff?
I would love to do that, yes.
All right. Mr. Cahan, we typically would do about a 7-day reset, put you to next week. Let
Yeah,
everybody.
that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Let me confirm with the important part. I see my Brochet is like getting me that hard look here.
Let me confirm that. 1 second. We could do 7 days, the 16th, same time.
We'll do that. Ms. Arredondo, we're going to send you a new court date. Now, it sounds like you and the plaintiff may be able to resolve things, but unless or until you get something from the court saying case dismissed or agreed order, please remember that you have a court date and you would want to show up for that, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
All right, any questions?
That's it for us.
All right, Mr. Cahan, did you have any other matters?
Not today.
All right, well, thanks. Y'all have a lovely afternoon. You're right, I like this trend. Let's keep it going. All right. Thank you, Mr. Cahan. All parties are excused. Then we will move along and we will be with cause 26,823. That's FC Zilker Housing versus Tommy Lozano and others. Do I have someone here on behalf of Zilker Housing?
Yes, Watisa Ware.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Do I have someone on behalf of the defendant, Tommy Lozano?
No one for the defendant.
No one marked in for the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Sir, why has this case been filed? What's the cause of action?
Non-payment of rent. I do believe he abandoned that apartment.
All right. How much is the monthly rent?
My computer is down. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'll pull up the lease and take a
I'm
look.
about to say I can't. I'm using my phone because the internet's down here.
You're fine. I'll take a look at it. So provided a copy of the lease at the filing. Let's see. Look at the original petition. If it's a default, so I can see that something occurred to the defendant. Defendant has not responded, but they did receive alternate service from Deputy Hobbs. It put it down, and then in the eviction petition, put down at rent at 1998, and under the lease, it is discrimination. Well. I think that's the full amount. That's why. That's the full amount. Yeah. Tenant's portion, 537. And per the lease, 537. Okay. And that is the tenant's portion. That is not, there is no additional subsidy. So that's 537 for the tenant. And that's what y'all put in the eviction y'all were seeking February through May. Just for unpaid rent, not seeking attorney's fees. Okay. All right, I have a copy of the military affidavit, so Mr. Lozano is not currently deployed. I see a copy of the payer vacate, looks good, that was in March. it was not the first time he had been late on the rent, though February occurred. So February through May. Are you now seeking for the June rent as well?
Yeah, it's posted on this ledger as well, but
Okay, February, March, April, and May. So that's 4 at the full amount, 537. That's 2148. And then for this month, get another 161, 2148. Judgment for the plaintiff, $2,470 in back rent plus cost of court for appeal. Well, Miss Weir, I'm gonna put the appeal bond at twice the rent, so that'll make it 1074. I recognize that's substantially less than the judgment, but I also recognize that Mr. Lozano quite likely would qualify for the affidavit, and therefore that bond amount is a bit superfluous for this particular case, but still a reasonable amount for both parties.
okay.
All right. All parties to that matter are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Oh, okay, that was your only matter. Thank you. Have a good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, then we'll be with 26825. That is LDG Menchaca Commons versus Gabriel Ferralis and other occupants. On behalf of Menchaca Commons.
Keith Wolfshaw, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wolfshaw.
Good afternoon.
I have someone here on behalf of the defendant, Gabriel Ferralis. Anyone at all on behalf of Gabriel Ferralis?
No one checked in, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Wolfshaw, why is the landlord seeking to evict in this matter?
This is for non-payment of rent, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. How much is the monthly rent?
This lease was entered into on October 31st of 2025 for a 1-year term at the rental rate of $1,199 per month. The lease is currently due for the February, March, April, May, and now June payments. A notice to pay or vacate was given on April 7th, 2026. It was a 30-day that expired on 5/7/2026. We didn't file this case until 5/20/26. So the amounts due for February is $210, then March, April, and May are the full balance of $1199 plus June of $360. Total amount outstanding in rent only as of today is $4,158, ma'am. Any information I missed?
No. Was it 30 days because it was a CARES Act property?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
All right, and then I see the military affidavit, so not
It is on
currently.
file.
Okay. No. All right, and then I do see that Mr. Ferralis did receive a return of service. We got that back from the defendant, or from the constable rather. Rule 510, Deputy Gamboa put it on the front door and then mailed a copy, and that was on the 26th. So defendant did receive service to this. Judgment for the plaintiff. Mr. Wolfshaw, besides actual damages, are you seeking anything for your time today?
No, we're going to waive attorney's fees today.
Okay. Judgment for plaintiff, $4,158 in back rent plus cost of court for appeal. Mr. Wolfshaw, I would definitely double it and put it at $23.98.
I'm okay with that, Your Honor.
Okay, and that's what we will set the appeal bond at. All right, all parties to that are excused.
Your Honor, my other case got dismissed. May I be excused as well?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.
26826. Okay, it's a neighbor. Hamley Covered Bridge versus Ravi Salgado and others. Do I have someone here on behalf of Covered Bridge?
For the plaintiff, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. Oh, good afternoon, Ms. Ham.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, and do I have someone on behalf of Ravi Salgado?
Yes, I'm actually here, Ravi.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being here. All right. I guess you're the only defendant today that wouldn't have minded trying to come in person.
Oh, are you pretty close or?
We're across the street. We're on Covered Bridge.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know
We're up
that.
the hill, right above where the fire
I'll
department
come
is.
over for a visit one day. How's that?
Well, we have a lovely location. I'm sorry, bad joke, but I see the address and I'm like, hey, there's not a whole lot else out here, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you both for my attempt at levity in the afternoon. Ms. Ham, thank you. Tell me about this case, please.
So this is an eviction based upon the non-payment of rent. The monthly rent is $2,412. There's been a failure to pay since May of 2026. Due to that default, a 3-day notice to vacate was posted to the interior of the lease premises on May 6th of 2026. And to our knowledge, the defendant has failed to vacate. We are seeking back due rent for May and a prorated June in the total amount of $3,135.60. We are also seeking possession of the lease premises, back due rent, court costs, and attorney's fees in the amount of $920.
Is the 920 just attorney's fees or is that including costs?
That's just attorney's fees, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's 920 for fees plus cost.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's make sure we're good. All right, 24/12, May and June, and then notice to vacate was in May. Was May the first time he'd been late?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and then one last question. Was it a CARES property?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being with us. Ms. Ham represents the landlord covered bridge, and she says this case is, as I've heard from some others, a financial situation, which is no fun, but better than other things I hear. So my first question, sir, is the monthly rent amount correct? Is it $2,412?
Yeah, that amount is correct. And could I just say something in addition to that? Like, I've been happy here at this location. I've been a tenant for over 2 years. And the reason why I'm kind of late on May's rent is I lost my job March 6th of this year. So I made the payment on March. I made the payment in April, but I've had a difficult time getting together enough for like May's rent. So I'm hoping that, I don't know if it's grace or whatnot, that I could at least be given a couple more weeks to come up with the past due rent for May at least.
All right. Mr. Salgado, I don't have any such authority. Have you had a chance to speak to the landlord and see if they have any options for you?
Not yet. I didn't know that I could, given that I was served with this subpoena, right? I thought I had to wait until my court date to talk through that.
I will say legally, the landlord does not have to engage in anything. Ms. Ham, I'll be curious. Do you know if he wanted to reach out to someone, should he contact your firm or should he contact the landlord on site?
If he wanted to work something out, he would need to contact management on site. I do not believe that they're here present. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think they are. They do have an office there, so I'll walk over after this
You
meeting.
meant president courtroom, sir. I have no doubt they're on site.
Yes, sorry, I
okay,
meant
gotcha.
like president of the
Y'all are
courtroom.
great. Y'all are great. Okay. All right. I'll give you both some information then. All right. So Mr. Salgado, I really appreciate that. Ms. Ham, thank you. Mr. Salgado, if I understand your response though, you've gone through a financial wherewithal or you've gone through a difficult situation. As a result, May and June are behind on the rent. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then here's what I give you. So legally, the landlord can move forward at the state. And I say this is not a matter of, I have no doubt that if you were employed again or had already had the money, you would be paid, right? Like there's no doubt about that. It's a matter of impossibility. So here's what can happen. Today, the judgment will be for the plaintiff, and it's going to be for the month of May, 24/12, and then a prorated amount for 9 days of June. So the rent due would be $31.35. And then I would award attorney's fees of $920 and the cost of court. Now, Mr. Salgado, you can appeal the judgment. If you wanted to appeal the judgment, I would make the appeal bond 1 month of rent. That's $24.12. And that can also be done if you wanted to appeal. You might qualify because you said you're unemployed. You may very well qualify for an affidavit of inability. We will send that information automatically. I'll also give you information, Mr. Salgado. If you take no action whatsoever, if you don't do anything, tomorrow is day 1, and after 5 days, if you do nothing, the judgment becomes final in that amount, the $31.35 in attorney's fees, okay? In addition to them having a piece of paper that says you owe that money, the landlord can come on day 6 and ask me for a writ of possession. That's the legal method by which they come to you with a constable. They say, if you still aren't gone, tomorrow we're going to remove you and your items, okay? That's the soonest that can happen. You have at least 5 more days beginning tomorrow. Now, if you appeal, and the appeal is perfected and you pay the rent of $24.12, it may be that you stay in your unit longer, and throughout that time you can talk to your landlord. You have 5 days to talk to your landlord. If y'all come to some agreement and the landlord tells me that, it's possible I can still throw this out. But if no one does anything, the judgment becomes final on day 6. Okay, sir?
Yeah, I'm not in a disagreement with what Amley Covered Bridge is asking. I'll go to the landlord here on property and try to pay that. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to appeal. I'll honor I was able to stay here, right? So I'm okay with paying the amount, even if I have to pay the legal fees and get this sorted out pretty quickly.
Mr. Salgado, very best of luck to you. Thank you for that. If you do have any questions, or if you are wanting to, just remember there's resources out there, and certainly you and the landlord can negotiate as you like. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for coming. Very best of luck to you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Ms. Hammond, there's no questions. All parties are excused.
Your Honor, I have one more case.
Oh, okay. Thank you.